we know that what you measure gets rewarded. Did you catch that? What you measure gets rewarded. It's really important to remember. So what are ways to measure culture? Because we can talk about culture all we want, but if there's no way that you're actually looking at how you're measuring it, if there's no way to actually kind of come back, then it's very hard to know if you're doing a good job or not. So you've got these words on a wall, but they don't mean anything. So I've got Gary on here for this first answer.
I think you need to call Lisa. She is big on this type of thing of benchmarking and how you do that within your culture. And I think everything you do, there's a process to it.
Pretty much. I would say, like, from a recognition standpoint, if you have a budget, I've got $1,000 this year to spend on 5 employees. Like, hold yourself to it. Every quarter, look at it. Did I spend a quarter of my money? If not, why not? Nobody deserved it, or did everybody deserve it? Should I spend all $1,000 right now? But, like, have a budget, track it, just like anything else you would financially. If you take a little mini survey with your employees, take a baseline. Is everybody kind of neutral? And then in a year from now, when you check back, it's more on the positive side. That's great. If it goes negative, why? And understanding and digging into it. So, I mean, there's ways.
Yeah. And having an outside consultant help with that, for measuring, it's how you reward it so that it keeps happening. And so I mentioned the book club and things like that, or handing out 100 questions to spark amazing conversations, or things that, what are you doing to help push that throughout? And so one of the things we have is a Kermit Award. Kermit, the song, It's Not Easy Being Green. We just flipped it. It's now easy being green because of you. And we hand out Kermit Awards. We have a button making machine, and so we make our own Kermit buttons, and each Kermit button is very unique to that event that happened and to that person and what's important to them. And there's a card, and a number of us signed that card to have a recognition for it. But Amanda Myers is here, who is a new partner here, just became partner at Murchison Taylor. Congratulations, Amanda. And she is a wonderful customer of ours, and had sent an email to Lindsay to congratulate Jason and Abby for a recent hire, who's also here. Kristen is somewhere in the audience as well, but had sent just this congratulatory email, and she talked about the team that just always send our gems and how amazing the team is to work with. And I got a hold of that email, and that turned into a Kermit Award that is every other Friday, like I said, we meet. It's in front of everyone, and the award, there's no money tied to it. It's this, but the people are very competitive about collecting these buttons, and that's something. There's probably 4 to 8 a month that are handed out, but finding ways to reward those. We're big on surveys, so every time a person is placed with a company, throughout that assignment, they're being surveyed. Not only how are they doing, but how are we doing? When candidates come into the office, when they leave that day, they're going to be getting a survey from us of how did it feel coming through our office, finding ways to measure success in those areas as well, are some of the things that we do. And then social media is a big thing as well, and tracking what's happening there and making sure you're following up on those surveys to become better at what you do.
That's great. You know, one of the things that I learned, I went to Dave Ramsey has an Entree Leadership Master Series event. So it's a week-long, you go to Nashville, Tennessee, and he kind of like yells at you a little bit. You know how he is. He sort of like shouts all the time. But it was really good. It was really helpful. And one of the things that he said is you'll know, how great your organization is, how much of the culture people really believe in is like what's happening right now at your office. Do people come in on time? Are projects moving forward? You're not there, And so often, especially, think about Gary or myself, where we have these, personalities that are always coming up with these different ideas. Like, do your people really love them and treasure them? And has that really sunk in culturally? And so that was such a great reminder that, of course, when you're in the building and looking around, you would expect things to sort of go a certain way. But what happens when you've been on vacation for a week, and what does that look like? And is someone else kind of picking up that leadership role and moving forward? And that's a really beautiful thing to see when that's happening in your organization. Another thing that we do that's free and cheap, we're on GroupMe. It's like a texting app. So we're not blowing up people's like phones, texting them. And we put all kinds of crazy stuff in there. If we see a funny real estate sign, if something great happens or something funny happens in our family, we'll put pictures there. And it's a great way to just kind of stay in touch. And it's a free app. Nobody has to use it. I mean, if you don't want to check it that day, you don't have to. But we've really been able to use that. Some people use Slack as well. So that's a nice tip to keep people connected.